Batman and Robin Year 1, Issue 1, Mark Waid writing with Chris Samnee on the art. So, this was kind of a wild announcement when it came out of nowhere a few months ago. But yeah, we got a new Year 1 book. It's Batman and Robin, kind of their early days working together. I mean, most of this issue is about Robin's first night out in uniform. So it's not like we're doing the origin of Dick Grayson. That's happened. No. We're not retelling that. We're focusing on his time starting actually as Robin. And kind of the Bruce and Alfred debating about, you know, the pros and cons of what they're doing. I think the big thing for me here is that it's really going out of its way to make Robin feel like young Dick Grayson feel like he is a little bit like, you know, naive. Like he's rushing into things, he's making mistakes, he's not listening to Batman, he's not taking things as seriously as he should be. And it feels like that's going to be the core arc. But what I also like, and this is probably my favorite thing about it, because I thought the book was very, very good, is that Batman also makes a mistake at one point and sort of acknowledges to himself that he's the one that made the mistake, and that working with a partner is a new thing for him, and he has to level up to be the guardian for him.
Yeah. So I just read Dark Victory, and there's a big Robin plot in Dark Victory.
Of course, yeah.
And so there's a lot that mirrors here. And again, it's the, you know, Batman having to get used to working with somebody else. So I do like that. However, here I feel like Waid's Batman isn't as emotionally detached as Jeff Loeb's, right? In that story. And so here, you know, there is that care and that caution, and there is a very paternal thread there for Batman, where it's like he's learning how to be a father. Right, he's never had to worry about this type of stuff before.
Yeah, and I think Samnee's the artist choice makes sense for that, because it does feel a bit more youthful and playful. It's fitting for a book focusing on a kid, as the central character, even with all the other stuff going on. But you know, we get to see his Gordon's reaction to there being a child working with Batman. He's like, you can't be serious, and he's like, no, this is the thing. And Robin keeps like, you know, saying stuff. He's like, calls him Kamish. He starts asking if, like, because Gordon's got them there because like a file's been stolen, and it's something to do with Two-Face, right? Which sends them on their mission. And Robin just keeps like suggesting things and saying, "Let's go." And Batman's like, "Oh, you're giving the orders now, are we?" So yeah, he keeps kind of like overstepping a little bit. But I like that it's sort of balancing that with, like, you know, he jumps off the roof and Gordon like leaps and goes, "No, that's like a 30-story fall," and Batman just says, "No, that's his element. This is what he is." And like, yeah, like the one thing that he doesn't have to train Dick how to do is like, you know, use a grappling. I mean, maybe fire the grappling gun, sure, but swinging from a rope is not something new to Dick Grayson here. So no, full page spread, all that stuff's good. Did you like the issue? I mean,
oh yeah, no, I did. I liked it a lot. And then again, it's one of the things between this and World's Finest, we're getting a really good Waid, Batman, Robin kind of not just a story, but you can tell how he feels about their relationship in those two books.
Yeah, and again, the big difference for me between them and why I think this feels stronger than World's Finest, which I do enjoy a lot, but this feels like it has a clear focus of like a story arc that it wants to do. This is going to be the story of Batman and Robin learning to work together and the growth that they both have because of it. Hence why it's called a Year 1. Whereas World's Finest, I feel like there's a little bit of character development here or there, but it's mostly just about, here's the fun thing I want to do this issue, and that's
but through the thread of World's Finest, and we've gotten a lot of that Robin stuff, we get that Batman and Robin relationship pretty clearly defined, like, especially in the fifth, sixth dimension type stuff, you know, as we got that. But here he gets to, like you said, he has more of a focus that he can really, you know, work it out on.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see what the relationship is in the World's Finest, but it doesn't really grow in that book. It's just defined, and that's it. Whereas here, it's like, no, this is going to get to grow over the 6 issues or whatever it is.
Right. And again, like you're talking about Samnee, the art here, when we get that page after, you know, there's that glorious one-page spread, right? This big splash page kind of them swooping down. And then you turn the page, and just the way that the layouts, how you work your way through the pages as they're on their way to go, you know, show down with Two-Face and the informants and all that other stuff. It's just, there's a very cinematic quality to Samnee's art. especially when he's working with Wade.
Yeah.
And here, I always love that when they work together, they just get credited as storytellers, right? And here it's say words, Mark Wade, and pictures, Somnii. But yeah, you can just tell that they are a team in that way. But I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I love that the Gotham they've got here has got like the roads overlapping other roads. It feels very kind of like layered. I always like that about Gotham City. Yeah, there's like there's a bit of action when they're in the Batmobile and they're like bad guys like throw explosives at them, and it's like, oh, Robin like caught them throwing it, so he's got good he's got a good eye, right? He's catching things. But he also takes time to say, hey, don't worry, the car's armored, it'll take the hit, you don't have to be concerned. But of course the big thing though when they get to Two-Face is that Robin just jumps in like immediately, and Batman tries to tell him to stop, but he like in his head he's like, this is a trap. This is trap written all over it. Like he can't just jump down there, but he does. And would you believe it? There's pressure plates all over the floor for explosives. And so Harvey's making a bunch of puns about how there's two of them and how that suits him better now.
I love it.
Yeah, actually, we should talk a little bit about this file that he got stolen from the police station. Gordon specifically says that it's important and that even Batman shouldn't read it. Like that's how. So I'm like, what is it? What would he not want Batman to know about?
Yeah, is it something about Harvey? I don't know. But for something for Batman not to, maybe it was an investigation into Batman. I don't know. Like, but why would Two-Face want that then? Because I do like here too that Wade writes Two-Face and Harvey as two distinct characters, right? That are at odds with one another. So I don't know. That's a good mystery going forward.
Yeah, and Batman tries to explain to Robin that there's the good man still inside Two-Face trying to like get out, so Two-Face won't necessarily just kill us. But Two-Face mentions like someone he's working for coming to Gotham, who I did double check as a new character because I'm always convinced I'm convinced with Wade that it's always some deep pull, but according to the internet, this is a first appearance, so I think we're fine.
Okay, cool.
But there's a great bit though where Robin like asks, like tell us what's going on, kind of thing, like and that's where he flips the coin and then says, oh, my boss is coming to Gotham. He's had advanced men here for a year, but he's going to go to war on the Batman. And Robin says, oh, well, at least the coin landed the good side up, and that's why he told us all that. And then Two-Face starts laughing, and Robin's like, didn't it? And he's like, no, I told you that because the coin landed this way up, because it's a threat.
It wasn't a gift, it was a threat. And you're like, oh!
It's good stuff. And they even play off that again as well, where so Batman lodges a Batarang on the pressure plate so they can grapple out of there. And when they're on the roof, Robin says, he was just bluffing, there was no explosives. And then the very next panel, you just see the Batarang dislodge from the pressure plate, and the building underneath them, there's just fire coming out all the windows. And Robin's just in shock that it was real and that he was actually on the verge of death. So, again, it just plays into that theme of him not taking things seriously and not realizing the actual danger he's in and taking it this way. And Batman having to try and grill that into him. But it's fun.
It's almost that meme from Star Wars, that they use with Padme and Anakin, like the kind of right. I was getting that vibe from Somnee's Dick Grayson here. But yeah, and just that explosion too. It shows the whole scope, even though it's not a huge panel. The whole building and the way that the boom lines up behind it, right? It's just this big kind of scale.
It's genuinely funny, and it's saying something about Robin as a character right now. Yeah. So that's why it makes it a good moment in more ways than one. And Batman's like, tonight's lesson, never bet against a criminal mind. And Robin just looks like defeated. He's like, the art's really good there. Yeah. So the final scene is this bad guy coming to Gotham, and he makes sure that so no one knows that I'm coming. He also thanks the air hostesses on the jet a little too familiar, like he kisses her right in the mouth, and she looks very uncomfortable about it. And he says, oh, you guys did a great job, I'm going to take care of my father now, because he's got his father in a wheelchair, he's like a really old man. And it's implied afterwards, though, that he's sending his henchmen on the plane to kill everyone in the plane because no traces, right? No witnesses to his arrival. So he's all nice and buddy-buddy with these these ladies in the plane, but as soon as he's off the plane, he's like, kill them. So it's super dark.
They're calling him General too, right? So there's something there with that. You know, very, very precise. And
Gerald Grimaldi, which even just the start, Grim, General Grim. Like, yeah. So yeah, he's pretty grim. Yeah.
Yes. He kind of looks like Natchez Malone though too. He's got the mustache. Kind of looks like Bruce.
I can see that. Maybe Bruce will base Natchez Malone on this guy.
Maybe, right?
Maybe he will. It's really atmospheric though, and I think because like all the previous panels with Batman and Robin, even before the fire, there's kind of a warm quality to them. When you get to these last 2 pages, like that goes away and it's all blue and black. It's it's a stormy night. It kind of like sells the mood as this character's arriving in the city. So I thought this was an excellent first issue. It does genuinely feel like a start of a year one. Intriguing villain, intriguing mystery with the file that gets stolen from the station. Yep. But I think the most important part though is that it does feel like Batman and Robin are both learning from like working with each other. And
it feels like a starting point for both of them.
Yeah. And I think that's the key. It's one thing to have Robin be an idiot because he's a child. It's another thing to have Batman realize, no, I made a mistake because at one point, we never mentioned it, but Batman at one point yells out something to him to correct him, but he realizes after he does it that by doing so, he distracted Robin and causes Robin almost to miss a jump and possibly fall to his death. So he's learning as well. He's making mistakes.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then obviously Samnee's art is wonderful. It's consistent. It's
we talk about DC lining up, but they also got to switch up the artists too, because there's too much good art this week. You know, like again, we got a Samnee and WAID book in contention with all these other ones. So, but yeah, like you said, it was very moody throughout, and yeah, just Samnee's layouts are fantastic. So.
Yeah. It has an energy to his layout, so there's a lot of movement. You can really sense it. When you say it's cinematic, you can feel the camera moving almost the way his panel layouts go.
And it's what he does with the panels too, where they're not all the same size, right? So it draws your eye in a different way than you know, like a 9-panel does, right? So like, especially I'm looking at the last page right now, and the way that the panels go with the the second to last one where it focuses on the ring. Right, the panel next to it, I think that's a whole panel, is extra long. You're almost following that cut. You're almost cutting in the camera here. So, great stuff.
Yeah, just masterfully done as far as layouts are concerned. Yeah, love it. And I think because it's so playful with the Robin art earlier on, and it feels kind of kid-like in a nice way. I think it really emphasizes that even though it's still kind of flat because that's Samnee's style. Just how much more menacing the villain looks like at the end. Like it really shows that he can shift up the style a little bit to fit the scene, and that's cool. So a nice contrast there. All right, what are you rating Batman and Robin year one, issue 1?
I'm rating this at 9. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I agree with the 9. It's excellent. This is like I enjoy World's Finest, but this is the sort of book that I get excited for WAID doing. Is this kind of thing.